Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexiot's here. It's Wednesday morning, and the Lakers are in town to play us. They're on the second night of a back-to-back. They played the Cleveland Cavaliers last night, and they lost. Very interesting game in Cleveland last night. Donovan Mitchell scored 43 points, and Jared Allen returned to the lineup for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Meanwhile, on the other side, Anthony Davis only played 8 minutes last night and scored 1 point because he has flu-like symptoms. Now, when I look at the injury report for today, it's showing Davis is out along with Wenyen Gabriel and Cole Swinder. So the Lakers have a couple injuries coming into this game. Even LeBron yesterday was day to day for the game against Cleveland. But this is the weird thing about LeBron. He can't miss games. They need him to show up for games because people pay tickets to see him, especially with the only game he comes back and plays in Cleveland, his home team from where he grew up. Of course, he's got to play a home game against Cleveland, a game against Cleveland in Cleveland. Now, does he play against Toronto in Toronto the next night? That's the question. A lot of fans are paying tickets tonight to see LeBron in uniform for the Lakers against the Raptors. And that is the big draw. It's the Kobe effect. It's basically like Kobe said when he was playing that he always felt an obligation to try and play in every game because he's the reason why the fans come. So it's an interesting kind of superstar kind of onus to have on you that you're a big economic driver for the league because you're a star, and you can't be sitting out games all the time. So in some ways, LeBron James's durability over his long NBA career has been very good for the game because he hasn't missed so many games, but he does miss games from time to time. I don't know what's going to happen with him tonight. He was day to day yesterday. It is a back to back. He is older. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? We're going to have to monitor the Lakers injury report as the day goes on. It could be since Davis left the game last night, he's for sure going to be out tonight. And I would wonder about LeBron. Now, I'm not going to lie, because like seriously, he was day to day yesterday, but he went ahead and played last night. Let's see what he scored actually. He got 21 points in 36 minutes, 17 rebounds. So a great game by LeBron. It really was him. And then off the bench, Thomas Bryant, who we saw a lot at Rico Hines, and Russell Westbrook, and Dennis Schroeder that were carrying things for them. That's kind of who they're running. So they've got the team is interesting for the Lakers. They're finally kind of figuring it out. They have a older team, not as old. It's weird because the Lakers have had two problems in recent years. They're either way too young and inexperienced, or they're too old and they're just too slow. So they have to find the right happy medium between too inexperienced with the young youth around their superstars, and then having some like not too old guys like having Carmelo and Dwight Howard and all those guys before. So now the mix is really like, let's get feisty point guards. Patrick Beverly, Dennis Schroeder, Russell Westbrook, Juan Toscano Anderson. These are the names we're going to be seeing tonight. Austin Reeves. And then who's this guy? This is Kendrick Nunn. I believe that's Kendrick Nunn. Yeah, Kendrick Nunn, who's a point guard. And then you've got Brown Jr., Troy Brown Jr., Lonnie Walker from San Antonio, who's been playing really good pickup for them. And a little fantasy note, he's on my fantasy team. But yeah, the Lakers will be interesting tonight. They are rolling. They had won like a bunch of games in a row, but now that streak is over because the Cleveland Cavaliers ended it last night. And Donovan Mitchell, huge game, 43 points, amazing. I hope that's not what it takes to beat the Lakers here in Toronto tonight, because I don't see anybody on our team getting 43 tonight, unless it's Pascal, number 43. You go on then, Pascal, if you want to get 43. But if any of the Raptors get 43 tonight to beat the Lakers, I'll be very happy. Now, we have to beat the Lakers tonight for a couple of different reasons. We've had bad feelings on our team, and a little bit of poor worries about like where our team is going and what they care about, how much they care, and how good are they at this point. Well, let's assuage a lot of the Raptors fans' fears and maybe our concerns within the team also. And let's just get a W. They beat us last year on our court in a really weird way in an overtime game with Russell Westbrook and an inbounds play. And it was real ugly, and I hated it. And, I still remember that game. I'd like to wipe that memory out of my head and get a good memory with the Raptors win over the Lakers on our home court tonight because of the way we lost to them last year so disappointingly. So, yeah, let's make it happen tonight, Raptors. Meanwhile, on our side of the ball, the injuries are the same. Precious Achua, Otto Porter Jr., and Juancho Hernan Gomez will be out tonight. Juancho is already out for the day. His ankle, he won't take the floor Wednesday versus the Lakers, according to Josh Lewenberg. So yeah, the rest of them are those two other guys are out still too, just so you know. All right, let's see what's going on in the comments. Monique is here, super fan Monique Lawrence. Thank you for joining us this morning. Good morning, everyone, and happy game day. Hopefully, Lakers are tired. Let's hope so too. We'll see. We don't want to look like the tired team tonight. We want to look like the team that's going to raptor them. We don't need them raptoring us. And yeah, let's hopefully they look tired and we don't look lackadaisical. And happy game day. Hopefully Lakers are tired. Go Raptors. Lots of news in the last 24 hours. Delano in the 905. Fred's shoot around interview was something, right? Yeah, Fred did an interview in the middle of the day yesterday, and you can tell he's going through a lot. He said it. He said that there's so much going on, you wouldn't even know. Like it's all like kind of a perfect storm of controversy in his life and just kind of things happening to him right now. And I think it's a mix of two different things. It's a mix of on-court like game stuff, like Nick Nurse was talking about how his shots off kilter. That the Noah system has picked up. The part of the reason why Fred is 5 of 28 in his last few games at 3 is because his shot has a wrinkle in it, as they put it, and that's really just kind of like he's not shooting exactly right, and the Noah system is detecting it, and that he has to fix it and get back to the fundamentals and get back to his sure shot, steady Freddy, and that's part of the problem right now. Well, meanwhile, I think I'm getting like the vibes from Fred in his interview that there's way more going on in his life than just his shooting woes. That he is, listen, first of all, we know for sure he was sick last month and that he was dealing with illness a lot of the time that he didn't play well in recent month. We know that for sure. We don't know anything about the whole thing that Cool Cat's talking about for sure about the knee, as far as like maybe the knee is really bothering him because he should have had surgery this summer. And on the down low, he's not talking about it that much. The one thing I will take away from what Fred said yesterday is that he's confident he will be back to form soon enough. And, he's still taking responsibility for his shite play and that he understands that he needs to get it going. You can tell he's really frustrated. But as he said in the interview, is that there's a lot going on all at once for him. And I take that as being like a mixture of like basketball concerns and worries, like the thing with his shot right now. And then also maybe there's some personal things that are happening behind the scenes that are kind of like dragging him down a little bit or either like making life harder for him at this time. So good insight. And hey, Fred, good job getting in front of the microphone at this time when you're slumping. I know that's not ever easy to sit in front of a microphone when you haven't been playing your best. So yeah. And of course, him and OG's Gillette ad campaign came rolling out a little bit more yesterday, and he has to post a bunch of stuff about Team Smooth versus Team Beard and all this stuff. So yeah, I'm Team Smooth. Actually, I'm a little beardy today. I should probably go and join Gillette's team today because I need a shave. Yeah, and then the second thing Monique said, wow, yesterday I was complaining that Delano Banton was not playing on 905 at all this year. And that yesterday was a weird, not yesterday, 2 days ago on Monday was a weird day for me because we see the 905 play in the Scotiabank Arena in the morning for the school day game. And then we see the Raptors play against the Boston later that night. And we don't see Delano Banton play in either game. And then I complain, well, maybe the Raptors are dropping the ball with development right now. And who shows up in Mississauga last night to suit up for the 905 and help them to a victory is Delano Banton. Yes, that was so awesome, and I was so happy to see him down there for that game, even if he doesn't play a whole bunch of their games down there, like as many as he did last year. Him getting spot duty down there in different ways is really, really good, and it's a resource that they might as well just use. Why do you not use this more often? I'm telling you, Coloco's the other one who needs to go down there. Raptors. Send them down there. Let's look at the 905 game last night. They beat the Swarm, and we needed a win, honestly. 6-game losing streak ended last night in Mississauga as the Raptors 905 won 114 to 101. The leading scorer for the Raptors was Reggie Perry with 24 points and 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 blocks. I'll just say he's the first star of the game for me, just looking at it that way. And then you got also Jeff Doughton Jr., 19 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds, 7 of 9 shooting. He was a plus 17. So him and Reggie were the 2 biggest pluses on the team. And you know what? I'm going to give Delano the third star just because he got 19 points also and just showed up and being assimilated into actually, you know what? I can't give it to him. He had 6 turnovers. That's way too many turnovers. I'll give it to Justin instead. Justin's the third star, 8 of 13 shooting, 17 points, plus 8 plus minus. But Delano coming down there was solid in some ways, 8 of 19 shooting, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 19 points for Delano Banton. Off the bench, Gravette having, 11 points. Ryan Hawkins with 9 points, Gabe Brown with 6, and Melvin Frazier with 2. And then Ron Harper Jr. got 7 points in the game. And, they kind of separated things in the third quarter last night. The Raptors 905, they were kind of bouncing back and forth with them and actually were losing for a bit in the first half. And then they cleaned things up in the third and said, "No, we're not doing this." And then, boom, they just took off and they kept a good lead, good level of Canadian maple syrup lead for the rest of the game, and ended up winning by 13. So good job, Raptors 905, getting back on the winning side of things. They outshot them 50 to 44%. They did better at the three-point line, made three more threes. They did better at the free throw line. They out-rebounded them. They out-assisted them. They out-stole them. They had less turnovers. They had better fast break, and they had even in points in the paint. So pretty good game. Good bounce back. And that's what I'm saying. Just a little bit of a talent infusion. Make a guest star from the main roster to come down there every once in a while. Maybe Malachi sometimes. Maybe you put not Justin, a Christian down there a little bit. Maybe, why not put Christian down there just for one game and something like that. So, all right, let's see. Okay. But yeah, thanks, Monique, for the points today. And yeah, there was a lot going on yesterday for an off day. All right, Paul B's here. Raptors easy win. I hope so, Paul B. You're just saying that because AD's out. It's still LeBron. It's still Russell Westbrook. It's still the Lakers, and they are actually winning these days. They're not exactly the slouch Lakers they've been in years past. And our record against the Lakers since LeBron's been out there was very good when Kyle was around. Now, with Kyle not on our team, our record against the Lakers isn't as good as what I noticed last year. I think we beat them in LA last year, though. We beat them in LA last year, but they beat us here. So we're 50-50 from last year. So we need to beat them this year on our home court. We need to protect the North and beat the Lakers on our home court. This is part of it. All right, here, a little bit of keys of win tonight. Let's be prepared. Let's be professional. Let's do what we did on Saturday, the good stuff against Orlando. We did it against Boston, too, on Monday. It's just in the third quarter, we fell apart for one quarter of the game, and that messed us up. But for the first half of the Celtics game, we did things right. So let's do that and not have any lapses tonight. We have to really play 48 minutes. And Nick, I put this challenge on you. Will you please play Cam Birch tonight for sure? No matter what, that is mandatory in some sort of way, it's some sort of how you just put him in there for 4 minutes at least. Just do that, please. It just helps things so much more. And use the bench more in general. Listen, I really going to be watching your rotations and how long guys are sitting on the court. And if the guys are playing way too many minutes overall the whole game, we got to use a lot of different guys and get that energy good and solid and continuously flowing in chaos on the court the whole 48 minutes. And for you to have the optimal best chance to win, as you like to put it, this is what you want, is to sub your guys in and out, at least a 10-man deep rotation tonight. Because these Lakers have been known to be a lazy team in the past. And on a second night of a back-to-back after losing a high-scoring game in Cleveland the night before, this is where you could, gain a strategic advantage. if you would play deeper into your roster and really have fresh legs out there all the time, where these dudes are going up and down the court, up and down the court, and maybe some of the Lakers are like, we played last night in Cleveland in the second quarter, and they're not trying as hard in some ways because they just can't keep up. Please, Nick, use this advantage. You did not use it on Monday. And I really, really do think it would have helped beating the Celtics if you had played guys like Kem Birch, Delano Banton, and Malachi Flynn in little bits of minutes just to have more fresh legs. Please, Nick. That's my key to victory. Play a lot of guys and keep them fresh. Now, we could speculate about the starting lineup for the Raptors tonight. Once again, the Coloco starting lineup is seeming like it's what they want to do. Now, with no Anthony Davis possibly tonight, I wonder, who do you think they will start? You can put it in the comments and we can talk about it more. Who are we going to speculate who's going to start tonight? Who will be the 5 starters? Let's see. Isaac Campbell saying 43 cent for the win. Yeah, 43 cent for the win. Donovan Mitchell, maybe that is a proprietary number. We need to get that 43 back with Pascal tonight and get him to get 43 tonight. Yeah, Isaac's got it right, is what Monique's saying. All right, Savage is here. Let's see what Savage is saying this morning. I'll tell you what. Fred and his wife unfollowed each other on Instagram. Freddie's in the doghouse. What, Savage? This is crazy. This is TMZ kind of stuff. I don't think that that's true. I mean, she was at the last game, and yeah, this doesn't make any sense. They're a good family unit and all. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on, Savage. Maybe I'll do a little investigating, but this is TMZ kind of reporting, and we're not in the 30-mile zone. All right, let's just put it that way. Paul B saying, Lexi, come and rock the sure shot. I don't know. I came in a little early, 15 minutes early, because I like to get to the spot early, just like we should on our defense. Get to the spot early and meet them before they get to it. And then, boom, you got a charge. Good job, Chris Boucher. G saying, seriously, Savage? That's horrible. Yeah, I don't know. Let's not take everything that he says with weight, but we will investigate this. I doubt this is true, though. I really do doubt this is true. Lion Hunter saying, I guess that's what Fred was referring to when he said personal issues. Yeah, I don't know if this is actually true or not, so let's not totally give this weight. I think the personal issues could be all kinds of different things, guys. And he didn't seem like, listen, this is what he said. He said, I'm being a professional. I'm showing up to work and I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. But obviously there's things going on. Now, she's been at the last few games, so this doesn't make any sense. If this is something that has happened, it's very, very recent. And I doubt it is. I doubt that it is something that's happened. I think this is just tabloid craziness. Just throw another little weird stick of tinder to try and start a dumpster fire on our team is what this seems like from Savage. Even if this is true, this is none of our business. And I'm not even going to talk about it any further. If I find out it's true and it would say, okay, maybe Savage was a little bit right, I won't delve any deeper to get any more of the gory details. But maybe I will go check and see if he's accurate with what he's saying. Let's see. Tom Duke saying, good morning, game day. Let's go. Savage offside. You can do better. That's right. Tom Duke, official, referee with a wrench. You said, that's offsides. Penalty on the play. Flag on the play. You are in a penalty box, Savage, for TMZ reporting that is maybe very not factual, and we don't appreciate that kind of spreading stuff. And G saying, is Savage lying? Woo, I don't know. Somebody want to go research this and come tell me if there's actually any fodder to what he's saying while we're on here. You can go ahead and fact check them for me ahead of time while we're on the air, and we'll see what's up. We'll see what's up. All right, Monique is saying, no, G, he ain't. Yeah, see, Monique probably knows better than Savage. Jack Singalong was a success. Let's go Raptors. Yeah, Jack Armstrong had his concert at the Danforth Music Hall last night, and everything sounds like it was a great holiday gala and that everybody had a jolly good time. And joy to the world was had because Jack Armstrong can sing. Let earth rejoice in his great singing. I should have probably been there. Just like a little, I would have been like the opener on the street out for the line. Tom Duke is saying, "Yikes, for real? Sorry, Savage, is that true?" No, guys, let's check it first, Tom. If you want to go look for me real quick, Tom, find out. Kenrick James is here. Good morning, Kenrick James. Y'all, if you need art done, Kenrick James is a very talented, gifted artist, and you can find him on Facebook, Kenrick Chronic Art James. Check him out. He does commissions. If you need a piece of work done, you want something for your wall at your house, just something for your lady, get something done by Kenrick Chronic Art James on Facebook. Callie Mayer is here. Good to see Callie. If Fred doesn't improve his shot tonight, shit will hit the fan. Well, I mean, some things may be bigger than this, apparently, from what Savage has brought us today. Some things may be a little bit bigger than basketball in some ways. And I hope that there's no truth to what he's saying. We'll have to see what happens tonight, Callie. I mean, I want Fred to you know what? I root for the underdog. I root for the person who's been maligned. I root for the person who is down in the dumps and wants to rise up like a phoenix and just come back and be such a badass. And that's Fred in this situation. So I am very much rooting for him to like overcome the odds and do get back to his place and get back to who he is. So I'm hoping that'll be the case tonight. Now, if it isn't, we'll have to temper our expectations. I know I went really hard on Fred yesterday, and I hate that. In some ways, I regret some of the things I said about Fred yesterday. And I really do like stand beside him and cheer for him and root for him. And I want him to succeed. So hopefully that's what'll happen. Lion Hunter saying, unfortunately, Savage is right. Just saw it on Twitter. Okay, so Lion Hunter is seeing it out there. Now, listen, this could be a couple things. I'm not sure if like was he actually following her before though? Maybe they didn't have any kind of following in the first place in different ways, like as far as following each other. I don't know. This is strange. This is a strange thing to bring to us. And once again, this is the kind of stuff Savage and other trolls and different people will try and do. They find that little string and just kind of unravel it. They try and unravel things. So we'll have to see. Logical saying, salute real ones. Project Truth always. Good to see you, Mike. I watched your latest clip last night. Good stuff. Yeah, salute Mike and Project Truth for sure. Hot Take Jay saying, no way, Fred. Yeah, I don't know. Once again, we don't want to get into a cesspool of tabloidism here. We have stuff to do. We're previewing for the Laker game tonight. So we have our little part with this. If you guys figure out more, then, tell me, I guess. Cool. Jimmy Pope has got the right attitude. It says it's none of our business. It really is none of our business. Seriously, what's going on with Fred in his personal life, with that kind of stuff. So hopefully everything will be okay. Monique said Champagnie looks healthy, y'all. To me, yeah. In the after game interview, Justin Champagnie talked about it, and this is what he said after the game for the 905 last night. He said, "I am healthy for the first time in a year, guys." This is interesting. So he's saying he was never actually fully healthy all of last year, his rookie year, and that now he finally feels like he's completely healthy right now. So I wonder if this bodes well for things for Justin on the main roster also, that maybe he gets played a little bit more in spot duty tonight or some other game soon, just because he's finally feeling 100%. He hasn't been 100%, we know, all summer, and he wasn't really 100% a lot of times last year even. But now he's feeling like he's 100%, and this is a totally different kind of thing for Justin, that his body is feeling right now. And look out, he's coming to play good. Evelyn's here. Good to see Granny Evelyn. Good morning, Raptor Free Crew. It's game day. Let's go, Raptors. Yes, Evelyn. Yes, let's get that good sentiment, those good feelings going in the air. We need to win tonight. Let's beat the Lakers. And say hi to baby Candace for me. Cool Cat saying, good morning, Raptor Free Crew. Fred VanVleet might need more grace from us. He mentioned he has a lot going on all around, and his fiance wiped all her IG and unfollowed each other. Nick mentioned to AI discovered his shot problem. Yeah, this is interesting. Yeah, okay. Well, she's just off. Like, is she still on Twitter? Like, because she was on Twitter before. Let me just look, because I was following her on Twitter when I was still there, but I'm not there anymore. See, I'm out of the loop partly because of this. Yeah, I don't know. I can't really tell. It's hard to tell. But yeah, this is true. We need to give him some grace and just be supportive and stuff like that. Sometimes the things that are struggling on the court, not necessarily things that are totally from the court. and that there may be things behind the scenes that are really hindering his game. In fact, in some ways, this may be why Nick needs to play him like crazy right now, is to get him lost in the game. And if he has really good games and plays really well, it can really help during a dark time. Now, it's tough when he has more failure and everybody's coming at him too. But hopefully he could just do better. Yeah, I don't like hearing this about things with Fred and Shante. It's not good. Nick mentioned to the AI discovered his shot problem. Yeah, the NOAA system is showing exactly what's wrong with Fred's shot. So this is good in a lot of ways. Like I wonder, like the NOAA system seems like it's coincided with really poor shooting by the Raptors, and we're like, well, why do we have this thing and we shoot so bad? And I'm like, you're kind of right. But maybe it's just that I don't know. Maybe it'll help in the long run and really get mechanics down better. That there's a wrinkle in Fred's shot that he has to fix and work it out because he's lost his very good marksmanship. And there's something he's doing with his form or something that's causing the ball not to be the way it's supposed to, like the way he's always shot. And that's part of the problem right now. Okay, Nacho the Nacho's here, guys. Nacho the Nacho. Nacho the Nacho, you wily character. I have to tell y'all something. Nacho the Nacho is somebody who is I've known for many, 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 many years. And it was revealed to me yesterday that this is an old friend of mine that I'm actually very close with, Nacho the Nacho, the handle. And he's actually going to come over and watch the Laker game with me tonight, possibly. I really hope you do make it, Nacho. Nacho is an old comedy writing pal of mine that I've known. Like I said, we've done shows together. We've worked together in so many different projects. So just so y'all know, Nacho is there's more stories and more of a connection between Nacho the Nacho and I than I realized. He came into the chat. He's been in here talking with us, and I didn't realize who it was. It's a very close friend of mine that I've done a bunch of comedy shows and written comedy with for years. In fact, he's going to come over the first time in 2 years I've seen him, and we're going to watch the Laker game tonight. So you go, Nacho the Nacho. I hope you have a good day at work and you make it down here. Let's see what he's saying. If AD doesn't play, I'm pretty confident we win. We shouldn't start Gary. We should start Gary instead of Fred for now. I think it's better development for Koloko if he starts instead of going to 905. Okay, Nacho, thank you for your comment, and I hope that I do see you later, Nacho. I agree to somewhat of a degree, but I mean, listen, AD didn't play for them last year. Hardly when we played them last year. And so he's not really a factor to help them possibly win in any kind of way. So yeah, I think that it's just as tough with him, with or without AD in the lineup. It's tough either way because it's still LeBron. And Russell too. Russell has a lot of pride and fire, and he does weird shit against the Raptors in the history of him playing against the Raptors because he gets up. It's weird. Like he's not like Kevin, where it's like the Raptors were his favorite team when he was growing up. But for some reason, Russell Westbrook has always kind of gotten up to play against Toronto. And that's that. Those are the two guys that I really worry about, obviously. Now, AD could play, but I don't think he will just because he got pulled from last night. And it may be that they're just trying to like really protect him now that he seems like he may be back to form. You like starting Fred instead of Gary? I'm okay with that. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. This whole situation with Fred, we really got to tread lightly and carefully and be very, respectful and kind to him in different ways right now. Obviously. So I don't know. I don't know if I would take him out because in some ways Fred may have a real gumption tonight because he knows he's looked real bad. He may be. I hope he's not listening to anybody. If he's got personal problems in his life, he does not need social media in any kind of way at this point. So you think it's better for Koloko if he starts instead of going to the 905? See, this is somewhere where Nacho and I kind of disagree a little bit. But you know what? Listen, Koloko's getting what he's getting, and that's fine. Nick Nurse wants to put him into the fire and get him at the NBA level and have him play against these big, huge, fully formed men that are NBA bigs, and he has to battle and go through the tough way that way. Sure, okay. You know what? I don't think you can go wrong with Koloko in some ways, but there may be a little bit of like woulda, coulda, shoulda later down the road if he does not do 905 at all. And I don't want to have that. I want to be like, you know what? He probably could have used 905 at some point, but obviously not today. We need him tonight. And, we're not going to send him away to the detriment of the main roster team. So it'll be obviously something like Delano last night going down there and being able to play, but still be around the main roster. So he won't ever travel separate to go do stuff with 905, but maybe he could play on 905 when it's convenient and the teams are kind of around each other in town at the same time. Then Christian could just go down there like last night with Delano. I mean, I'd like to see him at least once in a 905 jersey this year. All right, let's keep going. Thanks for the comment, Nako. And like I said, I hope I do see you later. Have a good day at work. And man, it's so crazy. Like I have all kinds of crazy stories about things that Nako the Nacho and I have done in the past. And it's so funny that he revealed it yesterday after the stream. He like messaged me on Facebook because we've been friends for years. And he said, I'm Nako on the chat. I'm like, you're Nako? Seriously? I did not realize that until it was such a pleasant surprise. After having such a depressing stream yesterday and kind of being down, it totally made my day after that. Hearing from Nako. Let's see. That's so crazy. Jimmy Pope is saying, always feels good to put a whooping on LeBron. Hope we destroy them. Today, watch out for the refs, pampering him to be prepared. All right. That's my cue. You said it, Jimmy Pope. You want to know who the refs are tonight? Here's your ref check for tonight. John Goebel is our main ref tonight. He is the Miami ref. We actually won the last time he refereed for us, guys. His favorite movie is The Godfather. He likes hip hop, salsa, and reggaeton music. His favorite app is Amazon. What a loser. He would most like to visit Australia. His hidden talent is he's a Cuban coffee barista. So he's the one who has a brother who refs in the league too, John Goebel. He's the older brother of the two brothers. And his favorite meal is very specific. So, Tom, get ready with the emoticons. A skirt steak with black beans and rice and fried plantains. Now, that is like the exact opposite of some of our refs that just say dinner. He's giving us the side dishes with the main dish. So, John Goebel is our main ref, head crew chief. And his record for us is 49%. When we play, we win 49% of the time. Like I said, we won the last game. He refereed us. And meanwhile, the Lakers have exactly the same win percentage with John Goebel. In fact, I'm starting to think that sometimes they really look at these percentages and they really decide who's going to go to what game by things like this. And it's like, oh, Goebel has the same win percentage, the Lakers and the Raptors. Oh, well, let's make him the crew chief and send him to Toronto tonight. So John Goebel is our lead ref. Our second ref is Brett Nansel. He's from Montana, and he's in his 8th season as a ref. He likes anything on TV that's on outdoor channels. He likes the outdoor shows like fishing and hunting. His favorite movie is Top Gun. His favorite musician is Alan Jackson. He would most like to visit Australia also. It sounds like Goebel and him need to go to Australia. His hidden talent is he can play the tenor saxophone, and his bucket list is to catch a 1,000-pound marlin. His favorite meal is a barbecue ribeye steak. So once again, we got another steak lover, and it's very specific, barbecue ribeye steak. So we got some specificity in here. And Nansel does enjoy hunting, fly fishing, and spending time on a family farm and a cattle ranch with his wife and 3 children. So yeah, he's also worked at a wildland firefighter and a high school history teacher. So Brett Nansel has been a teacher and a firefighter, and his record with us is actually quite good, guys. We win 65% of the time when Brett Nansel, 10-year ref, is around, and the Lakers only win 30% of the time. That is the biggest difference between the refs. We win 65 and they win 30 when Brett Nansel is present at the game. So let's get a barbecue ribeye steak on the grill for Mr. Nansel. Our third ref is the very interesting and fun and always good JT Orr. His 9th season, he's out of California. His favorite show is Dun 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 the People's Court. Dun Dun Dun. He loves the People's Court. His favorite movie is Tombstone, and his favorite musician is Maxwell. His favorite book is The Outsiders, and his hidden talent is juggling. He would most like to visit Greece. Why couldn't you want to go to Australia? Because then we could have sent all y'all together. Now, the cool thing about JT Orr is that he spent more than 10 years in California as a counselor for young men in foster care and probation systems in LA County. So, this is a guy who is really a humanitarian and really nice dude. His favorite meal is biscuits and gravy. So, we got two steaks and a biscuits and gravy. And some of that, that's kind of cool that he likes biscuits and gravy. That's such a simple meal and very kind of humbling meal. Our record with JT Orr is 68% win percentage. He's the highest win percentage for us out of all the refs tonight. And we did win the last game that he refereed, guys. He's already refed a game for us this season. The Lakers win 52% of the time with JT Orr is out there. So both of the younger refs favor us tonight, and John Goble does not. It's very even with John Goble, but the ref crew looks fairly like friendly to us. Doesn't look like a bad crew. They're all pretty straight up guys. John Goble's the only one that may be a little weird, but the other two guys underneath him are awesome. The outdoorsman and the counselor. The counselor and the outdoorsman. Maybe I'll start looking at their secondary occupations so you can learn more about it. Like, what did John Goble do too? Oh, well, he taught phys ed. That's what he did before refereeing. He was a phys ed teacher in school. So there's your referee report. Bam, 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 bam. Are they going to help LeBron? Are they going to pamper him? I don't know. John Goble's from Miami. Maybe he likes Miami Heat LeBron. I'm taking my talents to South Beach. Who knows? Probably not. But we'll see. We'll see. I think this is a good ref crew. There's no weird superstars like Tony Brothers or Scott Foster or Ed Malloy. There's just these are solid refs. I think these are solid refs. But I may eat my words. I should just say they're good refs on paper. We'll have to see how they are in the game. All right, let's keep going. Paul B saying, I went to the Lakers at Bucks game. AD had 44 points, and I knew he'd missed the Toronto game due to fear of Nick Nurse. Exposing how to stop him. And here we are with flu-like symptoms. World War III is on hold here. Yeah, well, that's cool. That's right. I heard Paul, you talking about going to that Bucks Lakers game recently that AD got 44 at. That must have been a sensational game to go to. And I know that you went with your wife. You guys had a great time. I mean, that is a really cool game to go to. That's a big matchup. I mean, you got Omari Parsons, two badasses, Giannis and LeBron in that game playing against each other, and boom, 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 boom. That's such a tilt. Such a badass little matchup. So that's cool that you went to that game, and that is an impressive feat. The scoring of Anthony Davis has been fantastic. Now, flu-like symptoms, who knows? We know it's going around right now, and all kinds of different people got it in all kinds of different ways right now. So it's probably a very valid excuse. But it's interesting that he tried to play last night, and he got 8 minutes in, scored 1 point, and then he had to leave the game, and then that's it. Now, I think it's pretty likely he's probably not going to play tonight. But you never know. You never know. It could switch all of a sudden. But he is listed as day to day as of right now. So, but yeah, what a fun game to go to, Paul. That's epic. That's an epic clash, and very fun that you guys got to see AD on a monster game. Very, very, very fun indeed. Indubitably. Monique saying that is so professional even in his interviews. Yes, he is. And like he really has it right. And like, listen, the way he answered some of the questions about how we're struggling right now were fantastic. And they're exactly how young players like Scotty Barnes and Delano Banton, Precious Achua need to watch Thad as a vet in his interviews and just see how he carries himself and how he handles certain questions and what matters to him. And he was very open and honest about when players slump. And he's like, they asked him, it's like, well, what happens? What do you do when you slump? And he's like, have you ever slumped? And he's like, well, I've been in this league for 16 years. Of course, I've gone through rough patches and tough times where I haven't played as well as I should. And he's like, yeah, you just got to keep your head up and keep going and trying to improve it. Just keep playing. That's how you get through it. You can play, and boom, better results hopefully come down the road. This is something that that Nick Nurse has talked a lot about in the last couple of days, is the law of averages, the law of things evening out. That a poor 3-point shooting by OG and Fred right now is not going to last. And then if the law of averages are in effect, they'll bounce back and there'll be a make more threes later down the road to counterbalance all the missing of threes recently. So that very, very, very grounded, very, very wise, and very, very vet with his answers in the interview yesterday at practice. And I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Mike's saying facts, Mo. Yeah, he agrees. Thaddeus Young is the consummate professional. Yes. Callie's saying it's going to be a tough game. We need to make those open shots. Yes, please, Raptors. Please. You got to know a system. You got to know how to shoot a. Why can't you shoot a better? You got to know a system. It's telling you how you're shooting wrong. Maybe that's what it is. They're all in their head because the Noah's voice is in their head. To the left, too much. To the right, too much. I don't know what it says. Maybe it says something like 70%, 88, 72%, 70, 71%, 72%, 71%. I don't know what it says. But maybe the Noah's voice is in their heads. And that's part of the reason why, no, but yeah, they got the Noah system. They need to make the open shots. That's why they got it, right? Sue's saying, good morning, everyone. Let's get this win today. That's right. Make these open shots, make your free throws, be the more aggressive team, out Raptor the Lakers, like really try and get to the spots before them, stop them, stymie them, make them have so much trouble. And just, yeah, we need to do those kind of things for sure. Isaac Campbell saying, yes, at Paul, AD ain't playing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's not going to play today. It's fine. I mean, the other thing about it is back to back, and some of the older guys and some of the guys on their team may be held out. I don't know how much. We got to watch out for LeBron tonight and see how much he plays tonight. Cool Cat saying, good to see Banton got some run on 905 and helped produce a much needed win. Oh my gosh, Cool Cat. I was so happy to hear that Banton was down there. And yes, he does help them win because he brings certain things with him when he shows up. It's like a drive, literally a quick, fast, slender drive down the court, a drive to win, a drive to take over in the end of the game and try and get some buckets when they really need buckets to keep up or take the lead or keep the lead. And I really like that about Delano so far in his career. He really does show a winning edge, an edge to try and force his will on the game to make it happen in a W for his team. And I really, really like that. That was something that they've lacked on that team so far this season, 905. There's nobody with that killer edge that wants to really pull them to the W at the very end. Well, Delano's that kind of guy. All right, let's see. Nako saying, here's hoping I have a slow day where I watch Netflix for most of the part. I should be by later. I think AD is a more consistent player than Russ and LeBron. Glad I made your day. Thanks, Nako. Yeah, it's so funny. Once again, it's just hilarious. Like I did not put two and two together. In fact, I thought you were G for a while, but G is G. And I'm like, why would I think you're G? Because I walked a G's jersey over to a place near here, and I know you don't have anything to do with that address. But maybe it's because your name starts with G. That's why I was thinking you were a G, but you're Naco the Nacho. And now I know. This is awesome. All right. Yeah. I hope you do make it. And yeah, if it's a light day and you get to watch some Netflix at work, hey, you go, Naco. That's great. But yeah, AD can be more consistent because things are easier for him. One of the things Nick Nurse was talking about yesterday in his practice interview was the high point of release that Anthony Davis uses in his game because of such his long, gangly arms. Nobody can really guard his shot to a certain degree. It's very much a Victor kind of thing, where Victor is up on a higher level than everyone else, and there's just no, he could be standing next to you, and if he could just shoot right over you, and you don't foul him or hit him, he might make it all the time because you just can't get up there high enough to try and block him because the arms are just so freaking long. And that's part of why he can be so consistent is that it's just really hard to get to his shot in any kind of way. It's guarded and protected by his height and his crazy ass arms. So yeah, that's part of it. And Russell's not been consistent for a few years now, but LeBron can find consistency in certain ways. I don't know. It's so weird, the late LeBron years in his career and being in the Lakers and just how much of a dumpster fire he's had to toil on this late in his career. You would really think at this point that they would have things together and they really would have things like in good shape. And they do to an extent right now, presently. But it's so much wasted time of his career messing around with stupid ass shit in the Lakers organization for the last couple of years. It has kind of been a waste in some ways, some of the best years of his career. And it's too bad. It's just too bad. It's just how it is. Bishop's here. Good to see Bishop. Morning, freaks. Good to see you, Bishop. Lion Hunter saying we need revenge for that overtime loss last year against the Lakers when Scotty threw the ball away on the inbounds with under 10 seconds yet left. Yes, Lion Hunter. For sure, we need revenge for that game. That game sucked. We all still remember it. It was a welcome Toronto game with the black jerseys, the black and gold. And I think that Drake was sitting at courtside, and there's this really crazy picture of Russell after he made the shot with Drake behind him, like going kind of and then Russell's like big smile. He's so happy. Yeah, that was messed up. That game and the game in the playoffs with Embiid when he hit the three, those were two of the most depressing games on our own home court in the last year because they were huge game winners that were won right at the end of the game. And of course, the one in the playoffs was worse with Joel Embiid hitting a three to win that one game against us in the playoffs. But this one was very much like that in the regular season. And we had that game and we could have won that game, but we fucked it up right at the end. So I agree. We have revenge to get tonight on our home court against the Lakers from the last time we saw them on our home court. Randolph Phillips is here. Good morning to our beloved Raptor Freaks, most informative gang. Blessings on the game day. Tonight, we will win decisively. Our team will come to play. Let's go, Raptors. I love this prediction, and thank you, Randolph, for the daily blessings. And I hope so. I hope we really do show up tonight to come to play and really mess things up and get some things going good for the Raptors. So we need that again. We need those good vibes. And boom, we win against the Lakers tonight. We're going into a weekend against the Magic in Orlando. We need to take care of business down there also. So we could get maybe a little bit of good feelings and a little bit of a streak going on. Hopefully we can get some W's going. All right, let's see. Jimmy's saying, I don't think Coloco will go to the 905, unfortunately. I think he would have already went there if he was going to play there. I think you're right, Jimmy, and that's why I'm kind of like complaining about it a little bit because I'm starting to see the writing is on the wall, and it doesn't look like he's going to be designated to go down there. Well, all right. That's what you guys want to do. You're going to go ahead and go do that. Maybe you have really good reasons for it, and I just don't know them. But yeah, I guess I need to trust in Nick Nurse and trust in like Bobby Webster and what they're doing with Coloco, and that's just what they're going to do. Because last year it was a similar thing. It's like I thought that they should have started had Scotty come off the bench last year for the first month of the season. I was complaining about that, and I was wrong about that. So maybe I'll be wrong about this too. But I think Jimmy's exactly right that if they haven't sent him down there yet, he may not go down there at all. Like I said, I still think he could get down there maybe for just one assignment, like either a rehab assignment or just like a spot game, just to give him one taste because it is different. He's not the fourth pick in the draft. He was drafted like 33rd, and he should very much get down there at least once. Raptors, come on, put Coloco in a 905 jersey just once, just to humble and ground him to different levels of the game. And boom, maybe he will really flourish and have some sort of crazy ass thing happen down there that really helps him on the main roster with confidence because he went down there and he was a big fish in a little pond and he kicked some major ass and got like a 40 point 20 rebound game. And then boom, he comes back to our main roster and he's gangbusters with more confidence. And maybe he's dunking and being more aggressive around the hoop and making the shots easier than missing bunnies. These are the reasons why I want y'all to do this, is to give him some confidence, give him some ability with a lesser skill level opponents to really dominate and get some footwork and figuring things out down there, and then bring it up to the main roster team and kick some major ass up there. But yeah, I think Jimmy's right. It may not happen. It may not happen. If it hasn't happened already, it may not happen. So, all right, let's see. Paul B saying a blackened filet mignon from Cactus Club is pretty good meal too. Maybe, yeah, Cactus Club. I think they're on DoorDash. I could DoorDash that down to the arena and said, this is for John Goble. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Maybe we need that kind of favor to counterbalance the LeBron effect with the referees. Maybe we'll pay them off with steak. And they will like maybe not like give LeBron all the golden boy calls tonight. Yeah, let's pay them off with steak and make sure they know it's from Raptor fans and that we love our team and we just want them to be happy, like get good calls. And if the referees are fed and happy, then maybe they'll call good calls for the Raptors. And that's what we'll say on the note. Monique saying Reggie Perry keep adding to his double doubles. 905 need to win 4 more games to stay in the showcase. I think they don't have a chance, Monique. Still, because listen, they don't have 4 more games. They only have 2 more games before the showcase starts, and they're not going to get a winning record. They'll be able to get maybe 500, but that's as good as they can get. I mean, that's not good enough. There's some teams that are very, very good that have only lost like 4 games so far in the showcase or 3 games. And it's really like tight because what they do is to figure out who plays for the Showcase Cup and wins $100,000 is they take only the divisional leaders for each division. The one top team at the top, the very, very top gets it. And then they pick the other 4 teams across the whole entire G League. And it's not spread out or anything. If you have like a whole bunch of really good record teams in one division, it's the very best teams after that. So you really have to be a division leader, or you have to have a record that is absolutely crazy good, where I think the most losses you can have in this showcase is maybe 3. Like if you have if you have more than 3 losses, you're not going to be in the Showcase Cup tournament because you have to be that good. You have to, it's really the creme de la creme, top 8 teams out of all 30 of them. And if you're a mid like record, you're not going to get in. And we're losing record, first of all, let alone not even a 500 record. So our chances of playing for $100,000 in the Showcase Cup are nil at this point. It's like we're going through the motions for these last 2 games. And then really we're going to have to like play a couple games during the cup that are just like throwaway games to keep the season even with the teams that are playing the cup. And then after that, that's the season where they need to buckle down and they need to start playing really well and change it, because like this is a different season now. After that, they can start over, with wipe the slate clean, and hopefully they'll play better from that start for the second half of the G League season. But they're out. There's no way they're playing for the showcase. Tom Duke's saying, all right, he's got the plant, he's got a rice bowl, he's got a cow, he's got a brisket, he's got a plate, he's got 2 steaks, he's got 2 more plates, he's got a yum yum face, and then he's got some bread. Okay, these are good emoticons. And Tom's saying, always feeding these refs, but rarely pays off. Well, I mean, are we really feeding them? We're sending them bits on emoticons. Tom Duke saying prayers, no Laker ref hit job, please. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't see it happening. I mean, we need to be aware that they will favor LeBron to a certain extent and just overcome it. But if it's not anything like extraordinary as far as LeBron treatment, we should have a good fighting chance. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how it goes tonight. I have a good feeling about the refs. They're, like I said, they're stand-up guys. They're pretty good refs. Let's see. Paul B saying AD was coughing in his presser after dropping 55 versus the Wizards, so it's probably legit. Yeah, I'll bet it is legit. And he was probably already feeling it, even though he got 55. So, it just got to the point where it's like, yeah, this is too much. And it could be like Jared Allen showed up for the first time in a couple games for Cleveland, and that's a harder assignment. Jared Allen being out there, and he may be like, I don't even want to do this. I feel awful. And yeah, I just want to leave the game. And that's what happened last night. And who knows how quick a turnaround he'll feel better. So I don't think it's likely he's playing tonight. Monique saying Blake spoke highly deep on the Raptors players meeting on the Raptors show. Blake Murphy talking about the players only meeting this weekend. Yeah, hopefully, we'll continue to see good things come from that meeting. And as far as professionalism, being prepared and starting very well in the first quarter and winning first quarters. So this is good. Jimmy's saying, I saw a non-call on LeBron when he elbowed Jared Allen in the face on a dunk attempt. Makes me shake my head. If it was us, they would check it for a flagrant too. Yeah, well, we just got to understand that there are different tiers of how people get refereed in the NBA. There's different tiers on how coaches get refereed in the NBA. Like we saw with Joe Mazzulla, he's not going to get the respect because he's an interim rookie coach as a Greg Popovich or even a Nick Nurse. So in some ways, we have a coach advantage over the Celtics this year just because our coach is more revered and respected by the refs. And there is a difference in how they treat the coaches even, we saw on Monday night. But yeah, LeBron is in a different tier, and it may be that they have to calculate in their head real quick. All right, is this a second technical? Well, then they be out. So they have to manage technicals on LeBron. Sure, they may give him one just to show, yeah, we do give him LeBron technicals, but you'll very ever rarely see him get a second one or get ejected or have anything having to do with flagrant fouls, partly because those can add to him getting ejected down the road. So they kind of temper those kind of things. If it's a flagrant foul, they'll just call a regular foul, even though it probably was flagrant what he did. I didn't see the play, but that sounds totally like a LeBron kind of thing. Mike's saying Precious out has changed the Kanono plan, and NBA Burn is before G League to know what they need to work on in the G League. So it's NBA Burn first, then fixing it in 905. Okay. Okay. And it's true. Precious being out has made like probably that may be a big factor in why Kolokos had to be up on the main roster only and not on 905 because Precious is hurt right now. That makes logical sense in a lot of ways. All right, let me see. What am I doing next? I guess I'll do the real mascot matchup since we're at this point. The last time we saw the Raptor mascot, he is back in the room of hell, the sauna hospital room, the fake room, but he got Bolway. He got Magic Bolway, and he feels better. It actually strengthened him a bit, but he's not really letting his captors know what's going on with him. He was keeping it on the down low. These guys' strength bat. He's still acting weak. So they come and they feed him some more, and he feels a little bit more stronger. And like he's like still acting like he's not that good, but he's actually playing possum. He really has some good strength. And there's a day when Nurse Annette and the Cavalier nurse are kind of not looking, and he sees an opening with the door, and he's going to try and get through it. It's like a lucky opening, and it's real close, it's real tight, and he thinks he can make it. He has the good chance to because the scenario, the settings are pretty good. Because he's loosened up his thing, he can kind of spring out of the bed and make a bolt for the door. And well, it's like Nurse Annette and Cavalier Nurse kind of leaves the room, and the Nurse Annette's in the corner of the room, kind of like working on something with her back to him. And he says, "Okay, now's my lucky chance. I get this chance, and I need to not squander it. I need to go for it and make this happen and execute, so I can get out of here." Well, with his lucky chance, he makes the break for the door, and guess what? As soon as he gets to the door, Cavalier Nurse is at the door and slams the door right in his face. He thought he had a break for it, and then Nurse Annette's grabbing him and throwing him back in the bed and tying him up. And it's just that lucky chance got squandered. It was so close, and he may have possibly had the daylight to make it, but he didn't execute and get through and get out. So now he's my gosh. Now he's like, what am I going to do next? And in some ways he's really been upset about it. And like he's like been really fretting in the bed, like how can I get out of here? He's really kind of trying to like figure out a plan. And he's fretting about it so much he starts sweating and he has a lake of sweat in the bed with him, a lake of sweat in the bed with him. But in some ways, it's making him like maybe be able to wriggle back out because like he worked so hard to loosen it before, and he it was like he was acting like he was tied up, but he wasn't. And now she made it really really tight. Now can he wriggle out because of this lake of sweat? I don't know. We'll have to see next time on the Real Mascot Matchup if the lake of sweat can help him wrinkle out of the bed and maybe he gets another lucky chance or a magical chance to get out of there somehow, some way. We'll find out next time on the Real Mascot Matchup. Yeah, lake of sweat. I don't know. That's one of my poorest connections, I think. Lake of sweat. Monique's saying poor Spain, poor Wancho. Well, I think he'll be okay and he'll be back soon enough. It's just maybe a couple games he'll be gone. I think he'll be back next week. It's nothing very major. I mean, is there anything really that much more? It's just his ankle. He won't take the floor on Wednesday versus the Lakers. It is what it is. All right, let me see. What else do I need to do? I guess I'll do a recap. So, yeah, our injuries, Wancho, Otto Porter Jr., and Precious Achua. And for the Lakers, they're showing that Anthony Davis is out for today. Wenyen Gabriel is out, and Cole Schwinder is out also. I don't think there's anything else on the other report. Our referees tonight are John Goebel of Miami, Brett Nansel of Montana, and JT Orr of California. And they all they're favorable to us. John Goebel is even across the board, and then the other two, they're favorable to us. Keys to victory. Let's look. It's LeBron James. It's a match. It's a rise up to the challenge of your rivals. It's Russell Westbrook. These are good. There's some really good players on this team, and they're no slouch, and they're actually playing well together, and they have kind of a team concept for once with the Lakers. So we really got to get back to our bread and butter and who we are. Out rebound them, get on the offensive boards, get steals and get in transition, get back, look more like the real Raptors. Because there's been too many games in recent weeks where we have not looked like our normal selves. And I think we're in a little bit of an identity crisis. And I'd like to get to know who we are exactly and stay that way and just take it and say, look, this is who we are. This is who we are, and we're going to play this way, and we're going to play this standard, and we're going to do well. And this is how we play. This is the Raptor way. So we got to get back to that. That's the thing that's the most disconcerting for us, is that we're not seeing Raptors basketball exactly the way we're supposed to, with the culture and the things that we've built up in the franchise over the last decade or so. This is one of the few times I've been worried about this in the last 10 years, about the crossroads that the team's at right now. Is that being 500 right now, they can go in two directions right now. And I am not totally sure if they're going to be going up right now. Normally I'm a very positive Raptor freak. You know this. But in some ways, I don't know. It very much we could go either direction right now. And I want to go up. So take control of your destiny, Raptors, and make a win tonight. Get that win, earn that win, like go get it, so that we know that you're showing signs of life and that you want to still head up in the season and not just be a mediocre team that plays close games and then loses at the end of the game because the other team out manages it, out vets you, out shoots you, just outplays you in the end of the game. That is where we do our good stuff and we make sure we win, is at the end of the game. And you guys are not showing that recently. I don't know if it's just injury, tired, poor execution, whatever it is. Snap out of it, because Kyle and DeMar built a house here in Toronto and for y'all to inhabit and to keep that culture going. And you guys are not following your bargain as far as the legacy of that right now. And I want y'all to switch out of that and get back to it. All right, let's see. Jimmy Popson, what do you think is important for today? I think it's important to really try and I don't know if we can treat LeBron like we treat Luca in the last game we played them, like where we kind of try and force him to not have the ball as much. That's really kind of the smart thing to do with such an ultra great talent that can score and pass and do everything all at the same time, is to really when he gets the ball, trap him as quickly as possible and really make him forced to not have the ball as much as possible. That's Nick Nurse loves playing against LeBron. This is like a game that he gets up for defensive scheming wise. That he's such a challenge and he's so hard to deal with. Most people find him a real headache and they're just like, oh my gosh, this is a nightmare. Well, Nick loves the nightmare because he loves trying to solve it's a Rubik's Cube. And with LeBron out there, he has to do all kinds of interesting scheming. So he really enjoys playing LeBron, whatever team he's been on the Lakers mostly. And it'll be interesting to see how he schemes for him. Now, Russell's an interesting wild card as far as is he starting right now still? No, he's still coming off the bench. Now, we're going to have to watch out for Russell just on his pure athleticism and his drive and his will. That sometimes Russell will just take over parts of the game just by being I'm pissed off and I just want to do a whole bunch of stuff. So really, I don't care about their supporting guys as much. There's some of them may be a little bit dangerous, but we really key on those two, Russell and LeBron. I hope we can have some good success because those other guys on their team may miss a lot of shots. And then, we're playing these plucky guards like Schroeder and Beverly and stuff. They'll be a factor to a degree just because of their tenacity and just how annoying they are. So they're an interesting team this year. They're not totally like they were last year when we saw them. And we talked about the game in overtime here. They're a little bit different. In fact, they may be a little bit more talented in some ways. And it really has to do with Schroeder and Beverly being around. That they're a little bit more talented. Of course, Thomas Bryant, somebody we need to watch out for too. because he's playing as a very good big for them. 19 points and 9 rebounds last night. And we saw all the work he was putting in the summer at the Rico Hines alongside the Raptors. So he is very much familiar with our Raptors from playing a lot against them this summer, and vice versa. We're very familiar with him also. So it will be really interesting to see. And if that guy who drove for DoorDash is still in the game too, maybe we got to watch out for him. But yeah, I would say look out for the big guys first and take care of them first. And hopefully the role players, the bit players around them don't have very good shooting games or do very much otherwise. Monique saying Spain lost yesterday is what I mean, Lex. Let's go Raptors. Great stream always. Oh, I didn't know Spain played a game yesterday and lost. Well, that's too bad. So I guess, yeah, it is a bad week for Juancho. He's hurt and Spain lost. Mike saying, in my opinion, we need to continue to work on the offense and syncing up player offense. That's more capable than Spicy and Fred ISOs. Yeah, I agree with this. A lot more like passing and cutting and just easier baskets, more assists. We want to see the assist total be very healthy tonight, Raptors. So sharing is caring, and share that ball around. That's a great key to the victory. And Sue's agreeing with you. We need to limit the ISO. We have to play as a team and keep the ball moving. Sometimes the ISO starts when someone thinks they have to take over, but we have to use everyone on the floor. Great points, Sue. And if anybody's going to the game tonight, once again, I really want you to get loud and be very much a leader in the stands for other fans that may not be as invested as a Raptor freak would be. We can be leaders in the stands and get the loud out of the crowd if we just start that spark. And then boom, all of a sudden, inferno. All the voices of the Scotiabank Arena, defense. The crowd can definitely be a factor, and we need to take advantage of this. And I know there'll be a lot of like LeBron fans down there. There'll be a lot of Laker fans. There'll be a lot of kind of like fair weather fans that are just kind of there to go to a Raptors game because LeBron's at it. Let's try and see if we can get a very loud, a conscious effort down there. And I don't want to. Hopefully, there's no leaving the game early like that happened on Monday. There's no kind of like taking the air out of the building kind of stuff. The fans should be defiant, regardless of what Russell or LeBron or somebody's doing on the court. If they're kicking some ass, don't let them shut us up. Y'all have the power. Just because they did something and they're up by 5 all of a sudden, you're going to be quiet and just sit there all meekly. No, be defiant. Say, I will not let LeBron shut me up. Defense. Who cares? Like, seriously, don't react to the game and get in your own head as a crowd and say, oh no, Chicken Littling, the sky's falling. The team is down by 10 in the fourth quarter. Oh no, don't do that. That's when you need to get the loudest is because, we need to push them towards playing better, the Raptors, and by giving them crowd energy. So don't let them have control over us by shutting up the crowd. That's something LeBron loves doing. Well, we want to be a really good crowd, and let's defy him. And let's not let them turn our crowd sound off by doing big plays. That is a huge thing. That's why people love playing on the road. They love having that power of going into another arena and shutting their fans up by hitting big shots. So let's not give them that. Let's get this new calling card in our fan nation at our building, and they can start saying in years from now, wow, the Raptors fans are crazy. They cheer no matter what. They don't give a shit what's going on in the game, what scenario, where the points are, who's up, who's down. They are just consistently cheering. We tried to shut them up by hitting a big shot or making a big, huge dunk. And no, they still didn't shut up. That's what I'd really like to see evolve with our fans in our building. I'd love to see that. The youngsters were so good on Monday. I'm telling you, they cheered so relentlessly at that school day game. It was crazy. It was very crazy. All right, let's see. Let's see what else you guys are saying as I finish up. Isaac's saying chant defense, but as SB4 says, say the whole word. Yeah. Well, you can't really chant D. Yeah, and that it is funny, this whole thing with Scotty with his whole thing about the word defense, and should not be ever shortened to the word D. And Nick Nurse said D a couple times in his interview yesterday, and I was like, oh, Scotty's going to think, oh, what are you saying? But in some ways, this is kind of a silly, like homophobic kind of fear that Scotty has, is why he doesn't say D. He says, you say the whole word, say defense if you say D. All right, let's see. Duke Rocks is saying, been watching Sacramento Kings lately. In the early season, they struggled, and now they play like a well-oiled machine. This has a lot to do with everyone knowing their roles. We need to iron roles out. You know what? I love this comment by Duke Rocks because I think this is true. When you really know what you're supposed to be doing and it works, and like that oil machine you're talking about, it's so nice to have that. And some teams are getting that at 20 games in the season, but we're not. It's like we're still searching for answers and still trying to figure things out. The Celtics are a well-oiled machine right now. The Kings are a well-oiled machine. We're going to see them very soon. I think we see them next week. So yeah, this is man, I wish we were a well-oiled machine right now, but hopefully maybe we will be in the next couple weeks before New Year's. I'd love to see us get to that point. But you're right, we need to iron roles out to a degree. And then some things are not totally ironed out because of the ambiguity of our superstars and the guys that are at the top. Like Pascal, sure, we kind of know what he's doing, but OG, his role is not totally ironed out and defined in some ways. Scotty Barnes, same thing. Gary Trent, it's weird. Maybe it's starting to get formed because he's six man off the bench. And Fred's got his role. It's just he's not fulfilling what he's supposed to be doing. Sue's saying the crowd needs to have a freak there to start the defense chant. Lex is amazing at that. Whoever is there, shout for us all. Yes, please. Just every time the Lakers touch the ball, defense, defense. I don't even care if the Oregon man's not playing anything. You start that chant. The Oregon man will follow. You can be the leader of the Oregon man because he's a little late on it. Every single time they touch it. I don't care if it's right after the tip. I don't care if it's in the last 2 minutes of game. Just chant defense every single time Laker is dribbling or holding the ball or has the ball. Mike is saying Boston was looking like us last year before then went on the second half run similar to us, and we were second best overall the second half last year. I believe this will happen again this year. Maybe different though. Man, I hope so, Mike. I mean, NBA seasons don't always happen exactly the same way, and that's why if we're depending on something to just click, all of a sudden, like it happened last year for us in December, we may not be able to get that this year because it may be that click that happened last December was just for that season last year, and that's why I'm ambiguous on whether we're going up or down right now because we really do need something to click in and feel like this is where it feels good. And all of a sudden we go on a run. That is what is essential for us at this point. And if they know how they did it last year and they can kind of work towards it, that's great. But there's no guarantees. And that's the crazy thing about this is like having lightning strike twice at the same time in the same part of the season, 2 years in a row is not always the case. And that's why I'm a little worried about this, that this may take a little longer to sort out and that they may be still trying to figure out who the Raptors are in January and February next year instead of figuring it all out in December like last year. And this is what I'm worried about, that it's going to take them a little longer to get that click going. I don't like it. Nameless saying the best part of watching Lex's streams is there's no stupid, annoying ads in his content. Well, there is, Brothers Tada. If you guys have any need to get your carpet cleaned or wash any windows, or maybe you need to take something out of the house that's really heavy and you just don't have the strength to do it, you can call the Brothers Tada. They'll come down there and take care of it for you in the 416 in the phone book. Brothers Tada. Yeah, there's a little bit. Just a little bit, but I'm doing it for the right reasons. Monique is saying this game alone was expensive as hell. Stay focused, boys. Yeah, Nako and I were talking about going to the game today, and I'm like, man, you know that everything with LeBron when he's there, it is inflated. All the prices are inflated because LeBron James is coming to the game tonight and playing. And it's like, yeah, you want to pay a little bit of a markup, and because you really love LeBron or something like that, then yeah, that's kind of the way it is. I've seen LeBron play it live in real life many, many times. So it's like for me to see LeBron play in real life, so many times over the last 20 years. So it's not that special, but it is very special to certain people. It's like if you've never seen LeBron, you want to go see the game. So the ticket prices go up just a bit. That's for sure. But yeah, it's too bad that they're that high, and hopefully we'll have good fans there. Like I worry because half the crowd could be partly just LeBron people. That's how bad it is in there. It's like a percentage of the crowd may actually be cheering for LeBron tonight, just because there's a lot of LeBron fans here in Toronto. Kareem Thomas is here saying the only way we get bet on yourself Fred back is if he comes off the bench again, he strives in hunger, desperation. Yeah, I think you know what. Listen, if he's having personal problems in his life right now, we want to be the family that comes and circles a wagon and help and is there for him and standing in support with him. Because yeah, this is awful. If what Savage has brought us today is completely true and all this kind of stuff, there's a lot of different things involved in this that are really sad, and that we need hopefully them to hopefully they figure it out, and that this is just a hiccup and it's nothing any major because there's children involved. First of all, there's a lot of different things involved in this that we need to be supportive of Fred, and hopefully, everything just works out for the best, whether it's on the court or off the court, and especially off the court. In fact, that may be way more important than anything that we're worried about with him in the game is the off the court stuff. So I don't know if he comes off the bench at some point, he comes off the bench at some point. And it may be that's the kick in the ass that gets him like, you know what? Fuck this shit. Because he has that dog in him to do that. We've proven people wrong, always slighted, not always like counted in or like always counted out. Maybe like, oh, he's just too small. That's who he is. And if we give him that kind of chip on his shoulder again, maybe he does respond very well. But in some ways, also, we want to kind of be a comfy support for him right now, in some ways, too. But we don't want to do that to the extent where it's hurting the team, also. So there's a lot of things getting balanced here. I'm a fun guy saying, I really hope our starting five is back together. Nurse needs to stop hurting the team in the locker room. So you want to see the old starting five from last year with Gary in the starting lineup? Is that what you're saying, fun guy? I'm okay with that. I mean, let's see who do you think will start tonight? We didn't really talk about this. I think it'll be probably still Fred. Unfortunately, Fred, Scotty. I don't think that's unfortunate, but unfortunate to what Kareem's saying. But I think it'll be Fred, Scotty, OG, Pascal, and then the third person. Maybe they start Thad tonight, just because it's a veteran kind of starting lineup to have with LeBron out there and stuff. I don't know. I think that Thad's played pretty well against LeBron. Now, the crazy thing about LeBron is that Thad seems so old, but LeBron's played in the league 3 years longer or 4 years long before Thaddeus showed up. So it's like LeBron's even crazier vet, like 20 years versus 16 years. It's insane. There's not many people in the league still that have been around longer than Thad Young. So that's part of it. Maybe we want him in the lineup because of that vet, experience playing around, or I don't know how he does specifically on LeBron himself. He may play LeBron very well just because of years and years of really playing against him for a long, long time. So I would lean towards starting Thaddeus, but once again, we may just see him start Koloko again tonight. I don't think Trent's going to start tonight. I don't think the chances of Trent starting are good tonight just because he's played so well off the bench. And this may actually be really the smart thing to do is to just have him off the bench at this point and just switch big men out of the lineup for the 5 spot, whether it's Thaddeus, Koloko, and oh, God forbid, Kem Birch possibly start a game at some point. That would be amazing. But that's that. I kind of think Thad Young may be the 5th starter tonight. So we'll have to see. All right. See, Duke Rocks is saying, I think the injuries set us back. We know the talent is there. We just got to figure it out. For sure, the injuries majorly set us back. In fact, we felt like we were rolling to a degree before all these injuries happened, and we felt real good about our team in all kinds of ways. And it's just tough. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I agree with that. We'll figure it out over time, and hopefully it'll happen sooner than later because that's really important. Sue's saying we seem to have had at least one guy in a slump all season. We go from one person in a slump to another. If we can get all our guys on the right track at the same time, we will be a force. If one guy's just slumping a little bit, well, Nick should be able to minimize that by just kind of like, you can tell he's kind of slumping, but sometimes he wants to get them to shoot out of it, and it hurts us still. It's like if it's just one dude slumping, why can't you just take that night off for that guy, Nick? Just let them sit for a little while and think about it. And then maybe next game they come back and they're really a force. I don't know. It's the coach. He's a coach. He knows what he's doing better than me. Mike's saying, remember the December 26th game was the lowest point last season. We were fine. We're fine at the moment, in my opinion. Yeah, Boxing Day last year was pretty bad. And that's still like weeks from now in this schedule. And it was really bad, the coronavirus around that time. Yeah, I mean that is good perspective, Mike, and I do appreciate you bringing that up. I guess that maybe this is a little too early to panic in some ways, but I'm just like I said earlier, is like can lightning strike twice in the month of December for the Raptors, where they get things going all of a sudden and figure it out, and everything just starts getting better and easier because they figured something out. I really want to. I hope that that happens. Nameless is saying, I'm absolutely positive we will turn things around. This team is far too talented to stay in this rut, and that's a fact. And that's what they're saying too. Like that's why Fred's confident about this. That's why Nick's confident about this. That's why Scotty's confident about this, Chris. They're all confident because they know how good they are. They know how talented we are when they're all together and they're all healthy and they're all playing right. That they're really, really hard to beat. And what? That's true. That's true. And I think that we just seen them so inept in different ways recently that it's hard for me to remember that we have an overwhelmingly good, talented team. It's just that we're not playing right, and this is what we're seeing right now. So it's what's in our head. Because like the last, listen, the last 10 games that we've played, there's been so many stinkers in the games, and that's part of what you're looking at is like how what have we won out of the last 10 games as far as like the last 10 games of our season. We've had some really bad losses. Like all right, we're 5-5 in our last 10 games, so we've won 5 and we've lost 5, but 5 of those losses in the last 10 games were absolute blow. Like some of them were blowouts. There was that disappointing game against Boston, the 2 blowouts against New Orleans and Brooklyn, the loss before to Brooklyn also, and then the loss at the very end of the game to Atlanta. So there's really troubling losses in those last 5 losses. Whether it's a winnable game against Boston on Monday, 2 blowouts last week, and then losing to Brooklyn twice in that stretch, and very much losing at the last second to Atlanta in an overtime game. They're different kinds of losses. There's 2 blowouts that are absolutely horrible. There's a game that was winnable against a top team where we didn't execute. And then there's a game where we lost to an Eastern Conference rival at the overtime at the very last second because of a lapse of judgment. These are things. It's the way we're losing these games that has me so worried. That's the problem. That is the way we're losing different ways. So, and G saying winning streak right around the corner. I hope so. Maybe starting tonight. Let's start it tonight, Raptors. Let's get the W over LeBron and the Lakers tonight, and then go down to Orlando and boom, maybe by Sunday we have a 3-game win streak. And that would be fantastic. Oh my gosh, that would help so much in all kinds of different ways. Fun guy saying, I mean, if I had to pay an unbelievable amount to watch an NBA player in an NBA game, it's most certainly LeBron. So I get it with the price. Yeah, and that's the crazy thing is what happens when you have all these people pay and they specifically want to see one guy, and then all of a sudden there's a DMP right before the game, and he doesn't even play. That's a real problem in the NBA with like superstars sitting on load management and rest. That this happens. LeBron only comes to Toronto once, and sometimes he doesn't play in the game here in Toronto. Very often he does. But that's the thing. Some teams may not get to see LeBron on the East Coast because he's not available for that game. And then people feel cheated because they specifically came just to see him. Duke saying LeBron played 35 plus last night. We need to put the gears to him and run him off the floor. That's a huge key to the victory. Play fresh, play a quick rotation, have fresh legs out there all the time, and run those Lakers off the court. They always play lazy and old. And especially on a second night of a back-to-back, a high-scoring game against the Cleveland Cavaliers from the night before, this is a huge way to have an advantage. Run them off the floor. Run those old-ass Lakers up and down the court so that they just don't want to try at a certain point where they're just like, I'm okay, whatever. You guys take over for a while. LeBron's going to go sit for 10 minutes. Stuff like that. Monique saying, yeah, I'm staying in, Lex. So much positives in my life. Raptors news-wise, can't wait to share. Awesome, Monique. I really love to hear that. She has something coming down the pipe, and it has to do with the Raptors, and it's very good news. And I love to hear this, Monique. Whatever you're doing, you go. And I know you're going to kick so much butt and be very successful. And I know you'll reveal it in time when you can. Nameless is saying all teams go through this slump at some point of the season. For sure. For sure. I mean, I don't know. The Celtics are going to go in a slump this year. I mean, they look very consistent in what they're doing in certain ways. That's the thing. It's like some teams will not go into a slump and they will run things the whole year. Phoenix last year, in some ways, Boston's kind of looking like that kind of team this year. And I hate saying that, but some teams go through one slump in the year. Sure. Some teams don't have a slump. Some teams have like two or three slumps throughout the year. That's what I'm saying. We've got a slump early in the year this year. I don't want to have any more slumps for the rest of the year, but there's no guarantees. You can get them at any time. And that's the tough part about it. It's like, I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to see. We want good health, good synergy, good connection, good passing, and good scoring and good shooting. We need all of that right now. Let's see. Duke saying winning Sacramento and the Cavs last night. Oh, watching Sacramento and the Cavs last night. They focused on pick and roll at certain times to get the bigs involved, then switch up with the guards. I'd like to see more pick and roll in our offense. So would I. So would I. Like I said a couple days ago, this is a real easy way for Fred to get out of his slump. Is start pick and rolling with Christian way more. You guys are going to find easier stuff. Whether you're getting assists for Christian or you're getting an easier layup or shot because of the pick and roll. We've seen it at times and it's looked fantastic. And the chemistry is really good between Christian Coloco and Fred VanVleet. So I don't understand why we're not exploring that more or going to that more. It really is right now. We're trying to club them over the head with bully ball with Scotty and OG a lot. And why can't we try and develop a little bit of the pick and roll with Christian and Fred a little bit more tonight, maybe? That would be real nice. I'd like to see that. And Mike's saying it's funny how things are playing out. Last year, Curry was slumping early and he MVP'd, and the Celtics defense was trash early, and then they had a players meeting and things turned around for them in the finals. Well, that's the thing. I think that meeting the Celtics had last year where they turned things around, it's still going. They haven't lost any of that. And in fact, they said in their interviews after a game that they figured some stuff out last year, and that's a big reason why they're having so much success as a team, and it's continuing to be successful for them. I hate that because I hate the Celtics, but it is what's happening. Fun guy saying 100% with you, Lex. Last year was last year. Sure, we were hoping we can replicate midseason success, but there's no guarantee. We can get injuries and slump again anytime. And yeah, we want things to start going in the right direction, and I hope they do. And I really do think they will. But their chance of error and having more misery and stuff happening too is there also. It's too bad. All right, guys, let me finish it up right now. Raptors, you got a golden opportunity to beat the purple and gold tonight. And, in some ways, they're a weakened opponent. And maybe we can actually take advantage of this night instead of how we did on Monday when we had an opportunity that we squandered. You guys need to take this very seriously tonight. You realize that every little thing that happens on the court adds up to who wins. And every little decision, even if it seems innocuous or not important, it actually does matter. Whether it's a missed free throw, a missed defensive assignment, a missed whatever, a missed free lay-in on a transition basket where you have a man advantage. Yeah, these things all matter. Y'all need to execute and make shots. This is maybe the most important thing for y'all right now is to really take this seriously and say, I'm going to put the ball through the hoop and I'm going to make sure it goes in because I have money shots that are money and bread and butter and that will absolutely go in most of the time. Do that stuff. If you get open for a three, make sure you make it, Gary Trent Jr. Same for you, Fred, obviously. Scotty, you're doing great down in the low post. Continue your dominance down in the low post and making those high percentage shots. This is the way of the future for you. And you're going to be very, very successful down there. OG, you're doing great. Just, you and Pascal, your assignment is basically don't disappear for times of the game. We need you to be consistently doing things to contribute to us winning the game at different points in the game, not just for one quarter where you guys show up and you put down 15 points and you look real good at that one quarter. We need you guys to show up consistently throughout the whole entire game and really carry water for us, especially if Fred's still slumping and he can't do it himself. So there's a little bit of individual stuff there. All right, let's keep going. All right, hang on. I like what you guys are saying here. Nameless is saying, no, mark my words, the Celtics will go through a slump too. The problem is there's too many games in the NBA season. That's why I'm so sure. Okay, I hope you're right. I really do. I really, 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 really do. But knowing the NBA, they're so cheating. They may gave them a really schedule that's like planned out in a way that they can kind of hit all the marks and do really well. But I hope you're right. I hope they do have some controversy and some problems with their team, and they have some stumbling blocks, and maybe their record gets a little tarnished. Because in some ways, I don't want them to be the number one seed in the East. In some ways, I'd much rather Milwaukee be the number one seed if we're not going to be the number one seed. So that could help in some ways too. Tom Duke saying, keep that Raptor winning headspace. Let's go. Yes, Tom Duke. Thank you for being a positive Raptor freak. And thank you for your help with this channel. I really do appreciate you. Savage saying Boston is on their 2014 Spurs revenge tour. Savage, you obviously are a Boston fan. We're getting this. We're getting this from you. I'm getting your vibes. I'm seeing your true colors, and they're green and white. Monique saying Tatum, high praise for OG. Yeah, I really like that Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are politicking for OG to be a defensive player of the year or even an all-star. They both said both things. The Tatum says, yeah, this guy could probably be the defensive player of the year at some point. Marcus Smart said it too, which was really high praise coming from the reigning defensive player of the year. He assesses OG as saying, yeah, this guy could win the award someday. This is good stuff. Logical Raptors fanatic saying it's playoff bliss and the Suns burn out in the playoffs and Golden State in 2016 burn out too. Playoff bliss ain't enough. Hence, Masai pushing through with that Rico Hines runs and hitting the wall early to win. Well, all right, let's just see how it goes. It's just like the real mascot matchup. We don't know if he's going to escape that room. We don't know what's going to happen with this team, and hopefully good things happen. And he can slither out because of the lake of sweat. So we just have to stay tuned and eating our popcorn and being like, oh, this is what's going to happen next in Raptor land, and hopefully going towards more and more victories and getting closer to Larry O'Brien's 2023 NBA champions, Toronto Raptors. See, I still said it. 2023 NBA champions, Toronto Raptors. I'll say it still. I'll still put it out there, even if it doesn't have as much teeth at this moment, but it could have teeth again very soon. All right, y'all. Thanks for joining me today. Let's go Raptors. Please like and subscribe and share if you did enjoy the stream. Let's go Raptors.